Okay, so today we're gonna put in a pet screen door. This is the Namsan brand that's sold on Amazon, and it's very popular. There's three different sizes: small, medium, and large. I'm going to be doing the medium one here. And before we get started, I'd like to warn you that these doors, don't know if you're for a cat or a small dog, these doors will work fine. But when you're dealing with anything more than like a 15-pound dog, you better be prepared to be replacing these doors every few months, because one squirrel and that'll be the end of the door. But regardless of that, some people find that they work very well. So I'm going to show you how you put these in. If you can do this job on the ground, on a drop sheet, I'm doing it on a table here because that's obviously the easiest way to do it. Saves your back too. And the first thing you want to make sure of is get yourself a piece of scrap wood to put underneath the dog door and underneath the screen door. So I'm putting that piece of wood in the corner in the same area that I'm going to put the screen door, that I'm going to put the dog door. So the reason for this is to support the dog door if you have to press on it, because the dog door goes in the front half where the screen is, and there's going to be a big gap. Now the first thing you want to do is lay the door down in the position on the screen door that you know you're going to use it. Best thing to do is to stand outside your patio door, see which side the dog door is going to go, and mark the location right on the frame of the screen, so in the exact place that it's going to go. So that way you can make sure you don't end up putting it in the top of the door. And it's happened to me, so yeah, these things can turn out that way. Next, this dog door comes with these little screws and nuts, which are very good. Some earlier versions of this, they didn't used to supply these, but if you get a situation like that, you want to use nuts and bolts to secure this to the door. It makes it easy to fix it if it ever gets torn off again and you have to replace the screen. And also the screws they give you here are black, so they're matched right to the door itself, so they won't show up. So to get started, I'm putting all these screws in the holes around the frame, and what I'm going to do is tape all those screws in place so that I can flip this over and poke all those screws through the screen, and it'll make it very easy to put the two halves together. Okay, now I've taped all the screws down, and the reason I did that is I'll be able to pick this up and flip it over, and the heads of those screws are going to sit on that wooden board when I slide this underneath, and that'll make it easy just to push the screws through the screen to get everything assembled together. So the next part here, we got to line this up. Now I've got the pet screen door manipulated so that it's flush up against the bottom of the screen door and flush up against the lock side of the screen door. There's also one thing to watch out for here. This screen door has adjustment screws right on top, so some of these stick out. So the nice thing about this door is it's going to stick in front of that, so you shouldn't have to worry too much. You should still be able to reach that screw even after the dog door has been installed. And another thing, these doors, it doesn't matter which way you put them in. They've got locks that open on both sides. So the earlier versions used to have locks that only opened on the inside, so you had to watch out and make sure you put them the right way round. But these, they've changed the design so that the the locks are on both, operate on both sides. And also you want to make sure at this stage you got these little axle pins, the pivots that actually make the door open. Make sure they're lined up and they're sitting in the little pockets there, and that the latches are, the lock is engaged on both sides, so the whole thing is sitting flat exactly where it's got to go. It's nice and square. Do a final check here and make sure this is the bottom, which it is, and we should be ready to put the other side of the door on. Okay, now I'm going to start pushing the screws through the screen. So just pretty simple. Just put your finger over top of them and push the screen right over. So this is where the board comes in handy, because it allows you to push on there without the screen door, the pet screen door, moving around on you, which would make life just a pain. Now what I found the best thing to do is take the nut, get one corner to go over onto the screw and put the nut on to hold that corner down, and then you start working your way around to get all the screws to pop into the holes. And I'm going to start that process now, but I'm going to skip it on the video because I'll probably need to do some swearing and cursing. And again, the wood that you put down comes in handy here, because now you can push down on these screws and get these nuts on. And the darn thing won't move around too much on you. So hopefully I'll be able to easily get the rest of these screws in. Seems to be going all right. Okay, I managed to get all the nuts on with a minimum of swearing. Now you might ask, how are you going to tighten those nuts? Well, long ago, I went into Canadian Tire and I got this 99-cent door crasher. I knew I was going to need it sometime. Probably had this 15 years. And so I have this nut driver here, but truth be told, these are probably Chinese metric nuts. And the only way I was able to get the thing to fit was to introduce this here wrench to that 5-inch vise over there and squeeze it until it fit the nut. So once you've got all those nuts tightened, you're ready for the moment of truth. And what that basically involves is taking your knife and running it around the edge, cutting through the screen, and hopefully the two halves don't come apart, and this thing ends up working exactly the way it was supposed to. There we go. We've got the screen cut out, and the door flap is working the way it should. And now what I'm going to do, I'll stand the door up and I'll just make sure that the all those bolts are properly tight and the halves are together properly. There are spikes all throughout these halves that also pierce through the screen to hold everything together. So so long as you get everything screwed down neatly, it should hold on pretty tight. I hope you enjoyed this video about putting in this Namsen pet screen door. And if you enjoyed it and would like me to make more videos, I'm putting my affiliate link in the description of the YouTube video. So if you're able to buy it through that link, that would be marvelous. Gives me a few pennies to put towards the time. And thanks so much.